Hello, fellow old schoolers. So while I'm waiting for the SD card to function and transfer all the videos, I thought I might as well continue with some of the rounds I played at the last tournament, the Long Island Cup. So without further ado, here are the rounds 3 and 4 I participated in. And for round 3, I met this weird contraption, the blue, white and red Burn Tricks deck, I've dubbed it. It's played by a guy named David. And first of all, there are no Moxen, no blue power here. So it's arm powered like the disc control deck before. It's a very aggressive burn variant with Savannah Lions, and I had quite some difficulties in getting a read on this deck actually. There are Savannah Lions and a lot of burn spells for quick damage. We also have a Divine Offering, which is a smaller control card, 2 Hercules Recall, an Unsummoned, a single Power Sink, main deck Red Elemental Blast, and a Desert. Quite funky and very efficient actually. With only 2 kinds of creatures in the deck, the Savannah Lion and the Sarah Angel. That's a big difference. And we also see 2 Falling Stars in the sideboard. That's awesome. Since the errata on that card, it's gotten a lot better, I think. So it's obviously there against the weenie text and stuff like that, I suppose. As I imagine the Desert is as well. But we also have the main deck Red Blast and the 4 Black Wises, so I suppose it's also an anti-control deck. It also has a main deck Energy Flux against Moxen. For this match, I unfortunately forgot to press play immediately. So we're in the middle of at the beginning of the game here. He's attacking with a factory and I disenchanted. I've mulliganed down to 5 cards here, and he has a working Library of Alexandria turn 1. So that's a bumpy start. I'm actually far behind here. So I Source to Plowshare the Savannah Lion. I've learned to respect those critters. They can do a bunch of damage fast if you can't remove them. Playing the Black Lotus, straight into a Time Twister. And I'm at 4 cards or something, maybe 3 cards here, so I'm doing this to rectify a lot of the card disadvantages I've accumulated over the start of this game. Couldn't get any mana, so had to do this, hopefully drawing into some sort of answer on that Library of Alexandria. And we actually have parity here. He has 2 life more than me, but there's 1 Savannah Lion that's not coming back, it's out of the game. So that's a Strip Mine, and he draws a card with that Library of Alexandria. Then I cast Demonic Tutor, and yeah, we all know what I'm gonna get here. That's that Underground Sea, and we're in the beginning of the game. So unless there is a very good reason, I'll get the Ancestor Recall here. So he plays another Lion. So at this point I'm thinking, there's a Tundra and a Plateau. This might be Fantasy Zoo. Blackwise, okay. That's not good. So, my experience, my thought process here is that with the colors, the Savannah Lion and the Blackwise, something very aggressive. He probably has Serendipity Freaks, stuff like that. That's the Blackwise, so there's gotta be a lot of burn, probably a Time Twist and a Wheel of Fortune as well. So, get out the Hypnotic Spectre and he Chain Lightnings it. So that tells us that he has quite a lot of burn in that deck. There's gotta be at least 4. There's gotta be 4 Lightning Bolts if we see Chain Lightnings. So he attacks again, doing a bunch of damage, and there's a Blackwise on me, but I gotta work fast here. So casting the Ancestral Recall. There's 2 Factories and a Savannah Lion against me. I'm not drawing into any Moxen here. And 7 cards in hand. So he attacks with both factories and the Savannah Lion for 6 points of damage. We bought the Lion. Swords to Plowshare is one of the factories. He needs to remove that actually from the graveyard. And then I take some damage from the final factory and a single point of damage likely from that Blackwise. So now we can block the factory, but I'm under no illusion that it will live that long. He's probably both packing Disenchants and Swords to Plowshares, and yeah, I'm attacking here. That's actually a bit weird. Oh yeah, perhaps I'm doing it to draw his removal. Yeah, I am. That's a Hypnotic Spectre. Otherwise, I'd stay back defending with that factory, because it's become apparent to me that he's the beat down here. That he's the one that wants to win the game fast, and I gotta play for time. So he gets out of Chaos Orb, removing the Hypnotic Spectre. So he must be out of removal here. It's a bit of an overkill, but he has to do it. I mean, you can't allow that Spectre to get in. So now we're defenseless against that factory. I suppose I could just orb the factory here. But okay, I have a bolt in hand, so no need to. So, taking a bunch of damage, but we're just really destroying each other's permanents at this point. Both having white and access to white and red removal. So he passes a turn. I'm actually, at least I'm mana fixed at this point. He wants to disenchant the Chaos Orb, and I might as well use it, so I'm opting to take the Blackwise. No, I am taking the Tundra. I'm not sure if he has counter magic. It might be like a counter burn setup, so I want to hit his mana. And oh, I fail. That's unfortunate. A pretty rare sight. It might be nerves. Perhaps I'm too distracted trying to figure out what I'm up against here. But it happens sometimes. I think perhaps I should have targeted the Blackwise actually. Okay, so he Sonic Blasts me at my end step. I'm at, I can't really see. Perhaps, I don't know, 10 points of life. Getting out of factory and an Undual Dreams. Attacking with the factory. Okay, so he Sonic Blasts me again. That's 8 points of damage in 2 turns here. I'm at 5 life. Okay, so I was at 9 before. Goes fast with those. Has a second Blackwise and a Wheel of Fortune, but there's an Underworld Dreams out here, so we gotta disenchant one of them. Otherwise I'll just straight up die on my upkeep. And he takes 7 points of damage here from that. He's at 5 life as well. Just suiciding with that Wheel of Fortune, but he draws into a bolt. That's a Hail Mary if I ever saw one. He must have so much burn in order to make that play. So he burns me out. He puts me at 2 points of life, and in my upkeep I couldn't play any cards, so I died to the Blackwise. So he won the first match here, and we had round number 2. Not the best start, mulliganing down to 5 cards against an active library, but I did get that Twister in. So now it's his turn to mulligan, and I'm keeping. So I'm cutting a bit forward here. So as I remember, I'm a bit off here in my assessment of the deck. I still believe it's something with Flying Men and Serendipity Freaks. But as we saw before, it has a bit of counter magic. It has Hercule's Recall. It has some defensive spells. Okay, so he plays a Blackwise, and I actually had a turn 1 lower. I think I should have sideboarded that out once I saw he had those Blackwises. So I can't really use it. Time Walk instead, just in order to get my mana out. Probably going for a more aggressive style here, getting under the Blackwise range. He doesn't chance to Sol Ring immediately, just to hold me back. Gives a free swing with that factory though. Here we come. But yeah, the more I play against Black Vices, the more I have to remind myself I should probably not play with the Library of Alexandria against 4 Black Vices. Underground C. Is that a Jusum Gin? Yep. Here we go. Time to get some damage in. I should take a point of damage from that City of Brass there. Okay, I'll do so there. Or did I? That could have been from the Jusum Gin actually. Okay, so I Spirit Link it. That's nifty. And then I attack. At this point I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't have any Serendipity Freaks, I haven't seen any. So let's just try this. I need to gain life. It's a burn deck. But he has a Swords to Plowshares in hand. So much for that. So I'm trying to get within lower range, not playing the scrubland here. Trying to get back into the draw engine. I can't seem to decide. So I'm actually starting to play scrublands in turn later. Swords to Plowsharing the 7 Alliance again. Putting down a factory. And sinkholing his factory here. Okay, he activates it, and then he casts Hercule's Recall. I'm dumbfounded at this point. Okay, Hercule's Recall. So I cast Time Twister in order to just get rid of his hand and draw into lower range again, but he Red Blasts me. Could have been a pretty cheeky move, as he Hercule's Recalls himself. So we attack again. And I disenchant his defending factory. It uses it to pay for the Sonic Blast. At least it doesn't hit my face. So, hey, that's a silver lining, right? And I still have sufficient mana. So he attacks with his factory and I remove it. And he gained 2 points of life, but that factory should be out of the graveyard. It's a small mistake again. Now we're just trying to save up for the Library of Alexandria again. Another lion. I haven't seen anything besides lions at this point. And I have played burn decks that only use 7 Alliance as aggro before. There's an attack deck that uses that. For example. Wonderful Dreams out. Now he can't. Third lion. Or is it the fourth? It's also Plowsharing that as well. So he should gain some life here, as he does there. Taking another point of damage from that Untold Dreams. I can't seem to draw any big beaters. It would be wonderful to get a Singa Vampire or Jusum Gin out at this point. He has a Red Blast, a Blue Blast, and a Wheel of Fortune and a Hercule's Recall in hand. It's not worth much. Strip mines the library. Hercule's my Moxen. Oh yes, now he's playing Wheel. But I counter it. This guy is not afraid of Underworld Dreams, that's for sure. But it makes sense. He removed my library and got a library of his own and removed my Moxen. So it's a risk on his side taking those 7 points of damage, but still it might be worth it. It tells me he has a crap hand anyway. And he really does. So putting down the Moxen again and the strip mine. And here's an angel. This surprises me. I didn't expect a Sarah Angel from this kind of deck. So it has Fantasy Zoo elements, I suppose. Circle of Protection Black coming over for that. And I've used so many Swords to Plowshares on those lions. So yeah, this is bad. I need a vampire or something to deflect it. Not drawing anything, and now he can just pay for the Circle of Protection Black, and he won't take damage from the Underworld Dreams. I should have allowed that Wheel of Fortune, I think. But I didn't know he would top deck a Sarah Angel like this. Comes over again. I'm at 2 points of life here. There's a Chaos Orb. This is game. Disenchanting the Chaos Orb. And he can just probably Chaos Orb my Underworld Dreams. No? Yeah, he should. Okay. Not that it matters. Okay, we'll have, Blue Blast and 2 lands. Good game. That was really a weird deck. He totally blindsided me here. And I took a beating. Lost 2-0 in this matchup. I'm not really sure what went wrong. It's besides that Angel and the first game it was a pretty bad start against him, but the second game I'm not really sure what's going on. Just possible for him to burn me out, and that Angel, I wasn't prepared for that. Haven't saved anything for it. So we're just showing what we sideboarded here. It's always fun. So we took in a Blue Blast, 2 Circular Protection Black, another Blue Blast. I took in 2 Spirit Links, a Red Blast, and 2 Blue Blasts. Trying to block his burn spells, trying to gain life. I think I perhaps took a Divine Offering as well. And so did he. Just various ways to gain life. I wanted that, and means to block his burn spells. And the Spirit Links, they could also be used against his Serendipity Freaks that I thought he played with. But he didn't. Only 4 Lions and 2 Angels. Very interesting deck. I really like it. So the main theme of this tournament is just having a good time and relaxing. But of course, many of us wanted to at least get to top 8, try to. And that's still possible, even if you lose a game. In my experience, if one lost game, if it's a top 8, you're still almost guaranteed a seat at the top 8 table. If you lose 2 games, it really comes down to how the computer works it out. And the better you've done at the start of the tournament, the better in general, because the opponents you've met would have a better win rate. The reason why I was almost kicked out of the Esbjerg tournament after losing a single game is because there was only a top 4 in that tournament. So that was a bit more brutal. Also in this tournament we had like 7 rounds of Swiss before the top 8. It was a very long tournament. So I think that allows at least 1 loss, probably 2 losses perhaps, but at least 1 loss. So I can't lose anymore. That's not good. I'm only halfway there. But next up, round 4. At round 4, after this stinging defeat, I met my twin, or sibling at least. Klaus with his DEADGUY L deck, splash blue power, and it's right here. And it has a lot of similarities with my deck. It doesn't use red though, so his mana base should be a bit more stable, but I have the bolts against his Spectres. He does have that main deck Spirit Link though. That's pretty nifty against my Dusumjens. And he has an Armageddon as well. Interesting tech there. And the sideboard, we see 2 Chains of Mephistopheles there. That's a complicated card. I might get more into that if it becomes relevant in this game. But in general, it's a black enchant world that's used to reduce draw power of different decks. So it's very good against blue decks, but it can be used against a deck such as mine. It does affect both players though, so if he does so, I would expect him to sideboard his Ancestral Recall and Time Twister out, perhaps. By the way, I do have a wheel against him as well. And Klaus is on the right here, and I'm on the left, and we see his hand. Time Twister 2 Dusumjens. It's gonna be Dusum on Dusum action, I think. quite great with these pretty similar decks against each other. Here he starts out with a scrubland, and so do I. Passing the turn with a swamp. Okay, I'm cracking his scrubland here. It cost me a point of life from that City of Brass. I'm trying to do this in order to crack him out of white mana. That's the most of his removal, I presume, as his terrors, if he has any, will not affect my black creatures. But he has an orb, and he had a City of Brass right after the scrubland. So he's orbing the Spectre here. And there he goes. It also sets him back so I can get my Dewsums out before he can. Tutor? Okay, probably an Ancestral Recall here. There we go. Another point of damage, but answered Library of Exandria. That's very solid. And I do have the City of Brass and the Scrubland to defend myself, so I'm actually passing the aggression to him now. He can put out his Dewsums and his Spectres, but I'll be holding back and try to keep within lower range, just answering his threats here. Badlands and a Bolt. Saving the... Okay, and then countering with my own Hypnotic Spectra. So I'm just trying to keep within lower range, and the longer I can ride this, I can ride it straight to victory, I presume. It's an Underground Sea. Considering whether to use a Sword to Plowshare on it. Before I do that, I gotta draw with the library just to keep it within range. So we can pick a card from his hand. I wanted to... okay, getting the Time Twister, that's a good pick. That would be his... oh, and a Time Walk. That's mean. I picked his one way to get back into the game here. Second attack. I used the Sword to Plowshare because I knew I could pick at least one card from his hand if I did so. So now he's in real trouble here. There's a Dewsum Djinn. And he's got one card left. That's a Dewsum Djinn of his own. Okay, but the Spectre can still get in. And he's without a hand, so it'll only do damage. But I have a full hand and the working Library of Alexandria here. Okay, removing the Dewsum Djinn, and he gains life enough from the Dewsum Djinn to negate the damage from my own Dewsum Djinn. And okay, putting out another. I want to end the game here. I'm fearing that he'll draw into a balance. He has a Factory I can jump Brock with, but if I can remove that, that's 12 points of damage right there. That's a Bolt and it's game. We're coming in. He's blocking a Dewsum Djinn with the Factory. Disenchanted. 12 point of damage. No Bolt, but he's at 3 points of life here. That's game. Okay, very, very lucky start here. A lot of card advantage. So actually we're at round 3. He starts with a Library of Alexandria on his hand here. And the second round didn't record properly. But I think the way of the outcome is useful to all Magic players. There was a Factory that he activated before attacking, and I bolted it at that point before he tapped. And that meant that he could tap it to give itself +1/+1, and then tap another Factory to make it 4/4, thus ignoring the Bolt. And that actually led to my loss here, as he could slowly just grind away with those Factories. So ladies and gentlemen, don't make my mistake. Bolt the Factory when it attacks, and not before the attack. That's key. It's the third and deciding round here. I've mulliganed down to 5 cards as I don't have any mana again. Starting out with a Strip Mine and a Mox Sapphire here. That's a pretty unusual start. But I had to keep the hand. Mulliganing below 5 is a disaster. So he just places his library there. He told me later why he did this. I can't quite remember why, actually. It is a weird play on the face of it, but he has a plan. But obviously I'm just using the Strip Mine straight away just to get rid of that library. Perhaps he fears that I'll take his colored mana, but he could draw into it later on if that library survived. I'm not really sure what he wants here. Scrubland. And mind twisting him for 2. It's all about getting these cards out before he does. And he plays with Dark Rituals, so he has a lot of speed. And I have a bit more removal and attack paths. Whereas his deck is more explosive. I've played with Dark Rituals myself once, and I do miss them. So coming over the factory and discharge it. Okay, passing the turn. So, despite getting rid of that library, I'm still at a very big card disadvantage because of those mulligans, and this is the 3rd and really the deciding round. So, discharge my Mock Sapphire, smelling that I'm a bit mana starved here. Probably too dangerous to attack with that factory at this point. Yeah, I'm keeping back. Now he has a defending factory. And there's that Chains of Mephistopheles. It's a black anti-blue card, an enchantment. It's not an enchant world, as I said earlier. And in essence, it allows you to draw 1 card at your draw step, and if you would draw any other card than that, you have to discard a card instead. And that means if you have 0 cards in hand and you're drawing outside your draw step, and after that 1 card, you have to put the card directly into the graveyard. So it's actually a draw lock, rendering my Untold Dreams pretty useless, and all my draw 7s and Ancestral Recall and Time Twister, etc. But I've actually sideboarded my draw 7s out here, mainly because he has dreams and disenchants himself. So back to the game. This might have been the reason for him to sacrifice his Library of Alexandria. I'm not sure, but it's pure top deck mode now. Oh, it will be soon as we run out of cards. And I think that's okay. Untold Dreams on me, okay, and the Chaos Orb. This is not a good situation. I'm still mana starved. And here's a Spectre. Yeah. Immediately Swords to Plowsharing it. No mana. This is bad. I'm just lucky he hasn't Chaos stopped one of the lands yet. Still, I'm slowly dying to that Untold Dreams. And so he decides to attack with the factory, and I can't block him. It'll be too dangerous. Because he can Swords to Plowshare my land. That's a Sol Ring. It's really important. Oh, okay. He knows that. So he... No? Didn't he want to disenchant it? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so as a response to his disenchantment, he's tapped out, so I can disenchant his Chaos Orb. That's actually, if I have to say so myself, that's a good play. I'm happy with that trade, if it has to be. So he comes in with the factory again, pumping it for an extra damage. I'm at 10 life now. Passing the turn. One factory against 2 factories, but he'll likely have some sort of removal against that single factory I have there. I think we're talking about Chains of Mephistopheles again here. He had to explain it to me a couple of times. Okay, so he goes into his attack step. I sort of plowshare one of them, taking 2 more damage, and now another damage at my draw step. Oh, what? Did I take it there? As a Dusum Jin. And he sort of plowshares it. These minor mistakes with forgetting a point of damage or not removing creatures from graveyard from Swords to Plowshares, I think it's due to the alcohol actually. It's not a common thing at these tournaments, and it was pretty alcohol heavy, and I did remember the damage from the Untold Dreams there. Second Dusum Jin out, get immediately Swords to Plowshare, providing some more life here. I'm back at 15, but half my Dusum Jins out of the game now. Attacking again, taking another point of damage from the Untold Dreams. and as a Spectre. Still I'm in the chains / dreams lock here. He's really considering something at this point. I don't think I'll block with that Spectre actually. I think I've got so much life from those Jusumjins now that I can get in with the Spectre, and with that chains out, if I empty his hand, he'll be screwed. It'll be very, very difficult for our decks to recuperate lost cards this way. So I'm looking at that Spectre as a very important card here. Dark Ritual. He's placing another Chains of Mephistopheles and then casting Armageddon. That is debatable. He lost his factory there. So now it's Spectre against the Dreams. He has more life than me though. We both have a Mox. I did draw into a Badlands though. Okay, now he has an Underground Sea. Spirit linking the Spectre. That's cheeky. So now I'm healing up, and I can do this all day, even if he counter attacks with that factory. That Spirit linked Hypnotic Spectre will keep me alive. And you can only draw one card, even if you can't draw into Ancestral Recall like this. Another Spectre coming out. He wanted to close the game with that Armageddon there, but I seem to have come out of it on top. Coming over with 2 Spectres, he has to discard a card, and I'm gaining life from this. So he attacks with the factory. And if he can't play the card this turn, the Hypnotic Spectres will just remove them. Now Soft to Plowsharing his factory, he only has 2 lands left. Looking through his graveyard in an act of desperation here. Now the luck is actually... Yeah, I'm disenchanting his Underworld Dreams. The luck from those chains are on him now. The Spectres will keep on emptying his hand. And I'm just regenerating life. Okay, so we drew into a mana. That's good for him. I'm ruthless here. Okay. Sinkholing the City of Brass. Okay, he drew into a Scrubland though. He can draw removal now. No, it's game. I did have a Time Walk to attack with, but I didn't have any blue mana because of that Armageddon there. Anyway, what an epic game this was. I thought I was a goner for sure. But there was really a turnaround after that Armageddon and Spirit-linked Hypnotic Spectre. And we talked about it afterwards, and we both agreed that Armageddon was perhaps a mistake though. Way aggressive, but he lost too much himself. And I had a Spectre and a Mox out, and he only had a Mox and an Underworld Dreams. So yeah, lucky break for me. After this, I'll do my best I'll try to buy a stick to make the transfer from the SD card work, and hopefully I'll be able to upload some games from other matches of the tournament before I get back to my own games. There are 3 more games in the Swiss round. I don't know how many of them I have recorded. And then there's the exciting drama of the top 8 matches, the quarterfinals and semifinals and finals. So much to look forward to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.